To the fucking hands. Chef Fit Podcast, episode 37. Where you fucking at? That's not the name of the episode. Just put
That's episode 69.
There's more than one alternative, you filthy bastard. Silence.
Here, Cam, I have to show you something. So, I am a bit of an art lover, okay?
Yep.
And a while ago,
I was. Know that, by the way, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I am. I've always been a bit of an art lover, and it's always very niche. I don't have a broad liking of art. I'll see something and I love it, and then I'll have it, right? And there is a wide range for where that can go. So I don't have a particular type of art. Just if something catches my eye.
This is getting a bit squirrely now, man. It's getting a bit ominous. What are you about to show me here?
I'm going to show you the world's greatest painting, okay? And I have a print of it here. I passed it one time at an art market, and I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant. I'd love to have that. And I walked away. And the next day I was like, fuck, I wish I'd have bought it. Yeah. I went back a week later and it just wasn't there. And then a few months later I went back and there was two prints of it. One was like the original and the other one was bigger when I had a large frame. And I was like, oh my God, it's there. I was like, I'm not going to let it pass it by this time. And it's the name. I should have got this up before I did it. It's a French artist, and the original was painted in 1812, and it was called "Cannot We Be Mothers Too?" And this was bold back in the day. Check that out.
Set of chebs, pal.
It's a nun lifting up the habit and getting her tits. Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. And it was called "Can We Not Be Mothers Too?" Is that
a bit of nipple showing, or what's the crack?
Yeah, that's the top of a nipple.
That's mad. 1812, man. That would have been so off the fucking wall back then. Like,
you see it now?
Yeah, fair play to her. It's actually a nice piece.
It's a lovely piece.
But
my ma hates it. She doesn't get the message.
But it's funny, man. But that again so if your mum's generation doesn't get it, right? A little bit. What the fuck were people saying back in early 19th century France? That's a question. You would have been. And
it was run by the church, and then you're speaking out against the church, speaking out against celibacy, against the actual structures of the church.
Yeah.
And he was a filth ball. He was a dirty knacker.
Who? The artist?
The artist that painted it. Yeah, he was a dirty knacker, but he was a very creative dirty knacker.
Totally. But you need a little bit of that to break through fucking, you know what I mean? Like standard societal procedure. Back then it was like, if you showed an inch of your ankle, you know what I mean? I think in the 50s, show anything, if you were wearing a skirt that was anything, at knee height or, you know what I mean? Just slightly above knee height, that was like, no chance, can't do it. Not a fucking, it's like we've come a long way.
But this is the other prong of actual nudity. But the main point of this is that nuns are made. Not nuns. Women are designed. That's what this is about. It's not all they do, but women are designed to bear children, and nuns are told they're not allowed to. But she's lifting up and she's getting this tit out, and she's saying, well, look, I have the mechanics to do so, but I'm not allowed to do because of the church.
Yeah, which is a lot. I feel really that celibacy thing just doesn't make sense, man. It's one of those.
And the celibacy wasn't that old when that painting was done. The celibacy in priest wasn't always around. That's a relatively new thing in Christianity or Catholicism. Sorry.
Yeah, totally. It's one of those rules that makes you go, It's like, there's a lot of things within religion that are just kind of dogmatically drilled in over and over and over again, but they don't really can someone tell me, is there something like our reproductive process requires you to have sex? So why is that demonized? Why is there such shame that's applied to fucking, sexuality in general? It doesn't fucking make sense. It's very interesting. It's an interesting piece, man. I must
say, isn't it?
Yes.
And I saw it for 15 quid. I was like, oh, brilliant. I was like, I'll give you 8 quid. She's like, no, I'm not going to do it for £8. And I was like, all right, I'll leave it so.
Love that, man.
Tenner. She was like, yeah, go on, yeah, tenner, that's grand. I was like, brilliant. It's class, isn't it?
Right, go on, I'll give you a tenner. Go on.
That's her.
Get your nips out.
Get your nips out against the church. Anyway, that's not what we're here for, Cam.
Pal. There's more than one alternative chef. That's today's episode. So,
it's a lesson.
What are we talking about? Well, to give you a bit of context, right? We look into, let's say, any of the chefs I coach. Not any of the chefs, like some of the very few chefs that I coach that either we run into a few issues with, or they experience problems and whatever they're having, or I see it in chefs that are well outside chef it. You fall into two camps. You know, you've got the all or nothing camp, or you've got the, you know what I mean, where you're doing absolutely everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the one. So that's the one camp, or you're doing nothing at all. You know, I feel chefs fall into that extreme far too much. They're either 110% motivated to go and fucking smash something, and they do it perfectly and they fucking nail it, which is probably not sustainable from week to week, or they're hiding and they're doing fuck all. You know, those are the two camps that chefs certainly fall into. And this is, you feel that this is the only alternative to doing everything is doing nothing. That's what I see a lot of. And it's a really, 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 really incorrect way of thinking and operating. It really is. It's not a good way to think. This is a broad problem. A lot of people experience this.
It's two extremes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in between.
Yeah, exactly. There's no middle ground. And if you're going to change your life, you need to start thinking differently. You need to start finding a middle ground. Like, let's actually given a bit of an example here first, Peter. Like when we see chefs that within the group that it's like they do something well for a while and then they might drop off for a little bit. And when it comes to dropping off, there's all these excuses and all these reasons for doing nothing, when the truth is they could have done something.
Yeah.
So when we see someone who's like, they've smashed it, they've trained every day, they've done all the things they're supposed to be doing, and then they kind of fall off the face of the planet for a week or two, and it's like, where have you been? Things got too fucking busy at work, this and that. And it's like, well, have you done anything? Nah. You know, it's like, what do you mean you haven't done anything? Well, I couldn't. Fucking, you know, there was no, I had to fucking do the work, or I had to do these hours, I had to deal with this stress. And the problem is you're so all or nothing that anytime you face a little bit of adversity, you fall off completely. And that's a big issue, because adversity is impossible to avoid. It's really hard to avoid it. You can't stop, and I spoke about this before, you can't stop the wave crashing on the shore, but you can change where you're standing in relation to the wave. Stand in front of it, you're going to get knocked over. Stand back a little bit, you'll actually get to fucking see the thing crash in. Same thing when you're dealing with adversity. If you've got this all or nothing attitude, you're always going to be in a cycle of just like, do something, feel great, not doing anything, feel shit. Do something, feel great, not doing it. And you can never sustain anything long enough to get the result that you want. Now, my philosophy with chefs and chef it is something is always better than nothing. Discipline equals freedom. Like, you need to take imperfect action all the time. You just need to take action. Doesn't matter what it is, take action, take action, take action. Keep taking fucking action. Like, for example, work got really busy and I couldn't get to the gym. Cool, well, fucking go for a fucking, if you can't get to the gym for an hour, go for a jog for 15 minutes. It's like, that would have been way better. You had the 15 minutes, you didn't have the hour. So because you couldn't take the full hour in the gym, you just said, nah, fuck, I can't do anything. You could have done something. You could have done something. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have time to cook down a curry for 2 or 3 hours. Okay, cool. Well, you could have grilled all some fucking chicken breasts and, you know, sorted some greens out in the fridge so you had them there. That probably would have taken you about 15, 20 minutes instead of an hour and a half. You know, you could have done something, but you decided to do nothing.
That's what we mean by alternatives, where if you haven't got the time to feed yourself properly, you go, right, I'll just get a takeaway. Sure, it's that or I starve. Well, actually, no, it's not, chef. No. There's a lot of steps in between not getting to eat and work and going home and eating a takeaway. There's so many steps in between. And this is the main focal point of this episode is all of these steps in between your two extremes. And it's a chef's thing. And it's part of that that drives chefs to success as well, where they don't accept failure.
Yep.
That can get them, they'd have this doggedness about them to always make it work. But
yep.
then when it doesn't work, it's like, right, well, that didn't work, so I'm fucking done with that.
Yeah, totally.
And you tap out.
100%. And like the other examples that I've heard in the past was, you know, like for picking, like I'd noticed a lot of chefs are eating not only a bit of fruit, but gigantic amounts of fruit, like 8 to 10 pieces of fruit a day. Because when they started the nutrition plan, they ate a lot of sugar. So they just replaced that sugar with the sugar that you get from fruit. And it's like
clean sugar.
Yeah. And it's like Peter had this conversation with someone and he's like, why don't you just have a protein shake instead? And if I don't have the fruit, I'll just pick. And it's like, you've gone to the extreme, and like there was a solution to that problem, but you just went no sugar to replace it with a load of other sugar. And it's like, no, hold on. You're masking the problem here. You're masking the problem. And that was
the excusing and the reason was that's better than the alternative.
Yeah. The excuse and the reasoning covers up the problem though. That's the important thing. You're running away from a problem that you need to fix. So for example, in that fruit, when someone tells me that they've gone from eating, well, I used to eat fucking chocolate. Now I'm eating apples and watermelon and all that shit. It's like, that's a good step, but you haven't fixed your problem. You have an addiction to sugar. That's the issue here. So that because you keep going to the extreme and making the excuse for the extreme, you're not finding the fucking solution. The solution is you need to fucking sort your sugar addiction out. So that's probably going to take you about 3 or 4 days to cut out sugar completely. Simple sugars, have some complex carbs, but cut out simple sugars for a couple of days until your body starts to adapt to not having loads of sugar on a daily basis. Loads of chefs can agree. I've been there. It's like you get addicted to sugar, you got to sort that out. Now, on the other side of that, it's like when you go to not solving your problem or not doing anything at all, it's like you're covering up the fact that you're ill-disciplined by blaming work. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I couldn't do that. You know, it's like, no, if you were disciplined, if you built the principle of discipline in your life, you'd start doing something rather than nothing. Because disciplined people don't just stop at the first obstacle. Disciplined people find a way, you know. Like, and this is something I spoke about before, but it's like finding a way. For example, my own situation right now, I've got like my right hand, I might have fractured a part of like a very small fracture in my knuckle, which is going to take a very long time. It's going to take a good amount of time to heal. So I can kind of move the hand now after about 2 or 3 weeks. But it's like, it's still, you know, it's like if I press my hand down flat, it's agony. You know what I mean? If I pick something up heavy in my hand, it's agony and I can't grip. I've got no strength in the hand. So I haven't really been able to use my right hand. I've also got a seriously bad impingement of my left shoulder, which clicks when I bring it up here. And any kind of pressing movement I do on that side gives me a lot of pain. So in my mind, it's like if I had this all or nothing attitude, I just go, well, I can't train perfectly, so I'm just not going to train at all. And it's like, no, that's fucking bollocks. I've built myself, the old Cameron who wasn't disciplined, he was just he was great every once in a while and he was all or nothing. Like I would have just gone to the gym when I felt like it, trained hard when I felt like it, when the conditions were good, when I had all the gear in my gear bag, when I fucking had my pre-workout, when I had the fucking 2 or 3 hours to train, I'd fucking smash the fuck out of it. But on a day that I forgot my shoes or I forgot my headphones, I just go, I can't fucking train, sure, don't have my headphones. And it's like, bollocks. The person I built myself into now, being disciplined, is I understand that those things are setbacks, not stoppages. You know what I mean? They're setbacks, not stoppages. And no matter if my hand's fucked, cool. Well, what can I use in the gym that doesn't require my hands? That's what I go to now, you know, and that's what I've been training with. Can I run? Can I still do cardio? 100% I can. Cool. Well, then I go and do that shit. That is what happens when you go and try and find the fucking middle ground. So I haven't derailed my routine in any way, shape, or form. I've just had to morph it and adapt and change it to what I'm doing. The same thing goes when you've got hours mounting up. It's like it's easy to use that as an excuse to do nothing. But the reality is if you were fucking disciplined, you would find a way and you'd do something. if someone, like I have chefs who are in the group and it's like they're disciplined and they'll ask me, listen, I'm traveling for work for 2 or 3 days, or I'm away on holidays for 2 weeks. Can you give me some stuff to do while I'm away? And I'll give them a body weight workout that they can do. That's being disciplined. You're trying to find a way instead of going, well, I'm on holidays for 2 weeks. See ya. It's like, what? It's like, no, there's more than one alternative to doing nothing. There's an
what I do, Cam, when it comes to either me going away or me having to work or me had being injured in a certain area, not a major injury, like what I do is I say to myself, right, what's the bare minimum I can do? And then I woke up from that.
Yeah.
Bare minimum is I can go for a walk. Well, if you can go for a walk, could you go for a run? Do you know what I mean? And then just work up to until I say, no, I can't do that. And what I can do, what I can't do. And then I know that I'm doing the best of what I can do with my current state or the time allotted to me.
Yeah. Because you'd feel so much better doing that. Like, the other thing is, what is the benefit of doing nothing other than just giving into that instant gratification of going, well, I'm glad I'm not fucking going out for a run now. It's like you're giving into instant gratification. But if you start having delayed gratification where you kind of go, well, actually, if I can just find a way to do something this week where the next 6 days of training or exercise or taking care of myself might be ideal. Work's a fucking nightmare at the moment. But again, if I can get through these 6 days of heavy work and I can get some exercise in on a daily basis, no matter how small, no matter how imperfect it is, fuck me, I'll feel good about myself. Fuck me, I'll feel satisfied. But you'd rather take that excuse and go, nah, hours, really busy, really hard season and work. Someone called in sick, and it's like, I can't do anything. I won't do anything. And it's like, if it's within the realms of possibility to do something, then you're full of shit.
If I tapped out, if I stopped every time I had a reason to, I'd have nothing done ever.
Nothing.
Same everybody.
Nothing. That's why, like, I actually kind of get pissed off in the group sometimes. Not pissed off in the group, but pissed off in general. Because it's like excuses mean nothing. And I have this battle. I get pissed off myself because it's like I'll come up with excuses for not doing things. It's like, take a step back for a second. Hold on, motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And a lot of the times it's just not true. It's just not true. Like, I had this shit earlier on before I was doing this. Like, I've been trying to build out a 5-day challenge for Chef Fit, right? So like a new 5-day challenge, a free 5-day challenge. They're going to be fucking serious. And it's like, it requires me to, I've tried to take the production of what I'm doing to a higher level. So the videos are much better. I can record on a fucking tripod. I'm going to illustrate everything on my iPad. Like, it's going to be pretty slick, but it requires me to focus in on this task and like illustrate on the iPad while I'm doing a fucking video over here. And it's, it's tough to do. And I was coming up with all these reasons to procrastinate. And even before we jumped on the podcast, I needed 25 minutes to record the fucking thing and write and do the task that I needed to do. I was like, come up with all these excuses, all these reasons, I don't have time. Sure, why the fuck would you do 2? You're supposed to do the 5 videos in the one go. All of this bullshit. And I actually just had to stop myself and go, shut the fuck up, press record, go. And if you fuck it up, you can do it again at another time. But you're going to do this now. You're going to do it right fucking now. And so I hit record and I was like, right, just go. And I got them. I did them. And it's like, why was I listening to that bullshit? Like, I could have got twice the amount of work done if I had to just shut that down. If I had to just shut it down and just take an action. Action cures fear. And the reason that you feel shit about yourself, you feel shit in your life, is because you're not taking enough action. And what's stopping you from taking action, obviously on the surface, is your body, your energy, your motivation, how you take care of yourself. But at the end of the day, regardless of how hard your body makes things seem, your mind controls it all. Like, even though you're fucked from all the hours, even though you're, zapped from, drink late at night, smoking weed, not sleeping, all the lifestyle factors the chef has, even though your lifestyle is making things hard for you, at the end of the day, your mind is what determines whether you make the choice to do something or not, and we all have power over our fucking minds. And some people have it easier than others, but at the end of the day, we all have a choice to make, and you can make the fucking choice to do something rather than nothing. And you need to understand that you have a choice to do something rather than nothing, because the playing field is not always going to be fucking perfectly even. The weather isn't going to be perfect with no fucking wind blowing and the sun shining and it's perfectly the right temperature. You know, like the pitch isn't always going to be in great condition. You're going to have to fucking make the best of it sometimes. You know, you're going to have to do something. Because when work gets shit, you're not going to be able to control that. 80% of the year, your work situation is going to be shit. It's very, very few and far between where hours are manageable. The restaurant's doing a perfect amount of perfect amount of covers, and you've got all the staff in the kitchen or whatever your situation is. It's like it's very, very slim margin of time is actually perfect. Most of the time, it's difficult, and you've got to be able to deal with the adversity of that. So fucking find a way. Do something rather than nothing. That's the whole philosophy behind Move Every Day. You know, move every day. And exercise is the big one. Like, move every day. Yeah, sure, I have the program built out where we lift Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and we do our cardio Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and we get an active recovery day in on a Sunday. Cool. That's what our plan is. But at the end of the fucking day, it's like if your work gets to the point where you can't manage that routine perfectly, we just got to move. That's rule one. You just got to move. So if you can't get to the gym, you get out for a walk or a run. You know what I mean? If you can't get for your cardio on Saturday, do your cardio on Sunday and go for a walk on the Saturday around your block. Like, you do whatever you need to do to move on a daily basis. That's why I came up with this philosophy, because it removes the excuse from you. That removes the excuse from you. And if you can start drilling it as a mantra, it's something that you'll say to yourself, move every day, and you'll actually will your way into doing something. You'll get yourself up to do something. Whereas if you don't have that philosophy, where if I just said, we just go to the gym 3 days a week, God fucking knows what would happen on the other 4 days. That's why I made the plan the way it is. Because it removes the excuse and it gets you to start filling in the fucking gray area. It means
the specific cardio days in between the gym.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's the gel that holds it all together. The move every day is what holds it all together. Because I've had days where, like, I might fucking train really hard one day and then I'll take 2 days off and I feel like shit because I haven't moved. The idea of moving every day is momentum. And it doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're doing something, you're building momentum, you're still taking action. But the moment you stop taking action is the moment you die and you stagnate. Say that again.
Chefs always get a bad back on their day off.
Yeah, because they haven't generally moved.
Yeah.
Blood flow is good for your pain. Active recovery is always better than passive recovery. Sitting on the couch doing fuck all will make you stiff. It might rest your mind and it might rest your body, but it's not good for joints and stuff. Whereas if you're to fucking get out and go for a walk in the woods or whatever the fuck, it's like your body is now, you're mobilizing. Get up and stretch and go for a light jog. It's not going to stress your body out, but you're going to get your fucking blood flowing around. Move every day is the key. Same thing with nutrition. Oh, I couldn't prep this week, because you didn't prep this week, you ate shit for 5 days. It's like, no, you made a fucking decision to eat shit for 5 days. Let's be real here. You
made 5 decisions. You made decisions every single day to eat shit.
Totally. 110%.
You go to remember, what I was always saying was, there isn't an excuse for having consecutive bad days. I don't think there is. Anyway, me personally, I've been living the chef fit path for a year now. But when you say I fell off and you come back, oh, sorry lads, I've been out for like 6 days. I've just been really busy.
Yeah.
Like, well, there was 5 days ago and this could have been attacked.
Yeah, I love the way that busy excuse is always valid. And it's like, nah, you were probably on Facebook. You were probably watching YouTube videos. You probably watched TV. It's like, maybe if you had to make, I don't mind if someone tells me straight up, I haven't been in the fucking headspace and I just didn't want to do it. I can understand that because you're being honest. You're being honest with me, totally. But I don't like when someone makes a conscious decision not to do something and then they just take an excuse from over here and go, well, that's the reason I didn't do that thing. The reality is you made a conscious decision to do it. And this is what we were speaking about before the podcast, Peter, and you were talking about the videos that I do, the Primera Chronicles. And it's funny because it's like I'll do this thing on my Instagram story where usually every morning when I walk out of the gym, I'll usually come up with, based around Chef Fit's message, I'll reflect on an experience that I've had and I'll speak about you know, and they're in my Nissan Primera. And I call them the Primera Chronicles. But I kind of look at, not enough people reflect and break down situations. You know what I mean? Not enough people break down their fucking experiences and go, this is what happened. This is what fucking did go wrong. This is what didn't. This is the lesson that you can take from it. This is the lesson that I learned from it. Not enough people reflect back on things. But what I always try and do in those situations is I be as honest as I possibly fucking can. As honest as I possibly can. And what I've understood throughout this journey is, since I started taking ownership of my life, which I only started to do a couple of years ago, when I started taking ownership of my life, extreme ownership of everything that was happening, I realized that I have a choice in every situation, and I've got to own my choices. So it's not that I never smoke weed anymore. It's not that I never have a takeaway. It's not that I never eat shit. It's not that I never take a fucking day off. It's not that I never feel lazy. It's that I make a choice for those decisions. Do you understand? And I don't use anything as an excuse. I just make the decision and I live with the decision. So if I have a takeaway, it's like, I want to eat shit tonight. I'm going to eat shit tonight. Cool. And when I make that conscious decision, it means the next day when I wake up, I'm probably not going to be eating any shit. You know what I mean? Because I've made a conscious decision to do so. And I own that. And you can't say anything to me because I owned it. What the fuck are you going to say? Can't believe you did that. Yeah, whatever. So what? You know, if I smoked a joint, yeah, cool. It's the end of a long week and I fucking wanted to smoke a joint and listen to some fucking, you know, old rock and roll and space out. It's like, I made a choice to do that. I wanted to do that. I don't have a problem with that. It's like, stop. I needed to smoke a joint because things are so fucking stressful for me right now. My girlfriend's fucking giving me shit in my business. It's like, fuck off, will you?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Bollocks, you know? Bollocks. You're making a conscious decision to do that. I made the choice. I'll live with the fucking choice, you know? And what that means is, it means I'm living the truth about myself. I'm living the fucking truth. And a lot of people don't live the truth. A lot of people don't live in the fucking reality. They live in la la land where they tell themselves nice little stories on a daily basis to make themselves feel better about their bad decisions and their bad choices. Well, I've got to fucking, you know, like I've had chefs tell me that they need to spend 500 quid a week on cocaine because they're fucking, you know what I mean? Because they can't hack the stress and it's, you know, they're around bad people and work. And it's like, as somewhat true as that may be, you might be around negative people. You might be stressed out to fuck. But let's get fucking real here. You've got an addiction because you've made a bad decision over and over and over again until that bad decision has become a fucking habit and an addiction. Like, that's it. That's it. That's in a nutshell. Not other people, not this, not that. Because if you took ownership and you realized that it's like, I'm making this decision. Why am I making this decision? Well, maybe it's something to do with the fact that I'm surrounded by these people. Maybe you'll find a new environment and change the fucking thing. Instead of just going, oh, well, it's them and it's fucking so hard and it's this and it's that. It's a victim mentality and it's not a good fucking way to think. And it's a one-way ticket to live a miserable fucking life. It's slave mentality. Like, it really is. It's living life on your knees. You're living life pandering to something else and thinking that everything that you do in your life is always going to be someone else. It's always going to be someone else's hand in what you're doing. It's instead of your fucking decision, instead of your call. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand at some point along the line that everything is a choice. Everything is your call to make. And everything in your life is as a result of your thoughts and actions. Yeah? Your bank account, your body, your fucking family, your relationships, your friendships, your level of happiness. You know what I mean? How educated you are, how many books you've read, like how skilled you are in certain areas of your life. These are all as a result of your thoughts and your actions. It's not someone else, it's you. You know what I mean? It's you. And the moment that you start thinking like that is the moment you take control and you push the fucking ball forward and you keep moving. But if you keep living in this fucking bubble of, oh, well, I couldn't do that because the industry and this and that and it's them and fucking all that other bullshit, you'll take the red pill and you'll fucking choke on the red pill at some point and end up fucking, you know, either submitting to a life of quiet desperation or you'll die soon, die young, whatever the fuck it is. That's what happens. That's a reality, like, you know, and I really take that seriously. And I would encourage anyone that...
See it too often.
Huh?
You see it way too often within the industry.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, big time.
Well, even that, like, even I wasn't even referring to that, but that's a perfect point. It's like, you know, the amount of the staggering number of suicides that are happening in this industry, the staggering amount of attrition within chefs, where people are just being destroyed because they have this mentality. And I'm not here to dispute suicide. That's not it at all. It's a fucking, like, I'm not qualified to speak on that properly. But like, the reality is a lot of these situations are coming from a place of helplessness. They're coming from a place of like, well, there's nothing I can fucking do. You know, there's nothing I can do. This is my life. This is shit, and there's nothing that's going to change here. And that's a really horrible thing to happen. That's why I'm so avid about Blue Pill. Take control. Take responsibility. You can fucking do it. You can make a change. You just need to make a decision to change. And the moment that you think the decision is out of your hands is the day that it's all over. It's game over because you give up hope. You lose hope in what you're doing. And I definitely think that attributes to a lot of the suicides that we see. I think that definitely attributes to a lot of people who can't hack it anymore and they stop and they give up on a fucking something that they're passionate about or something that they dream about. You know, it's game over. It's over. And that's horrible. It's not good. Like, it's really, really horrible to think. And it all starts here. It all starts in your mind and what you actually perceive to be true. And your perception needs to go from, I have no choice, to, I do have a choice. No matter what.
Many choices.
I have a lot of choices. I have many avenues I can go down. And if this doesn't work, I can go to that. If that doesn't work, I can go to this. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. I can do something. You know, have that mindset because that thing is going to fucking save your ass. Facts.
It works, guys. Pass it on.
Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. Have a look on Podbean or iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Leave a comment, please. YouTube, leave a comment. Make sure you do subscribe. I'll say that twice. Support us in any way you can. Support the message. Chef It is here to fucking change this industry from the inside out. We're here to start shifting people's thought processes. Chefs fucking, you know, thoughts about
chefs themselves. Jump on board while it's going. Let's go, chefs. Together we can change it. Come on.
Obviously, with that message in mind, it's like fucking be part of the elite. If you think you've got the proverbial testicular fortitude to fucking be involved and commit and change your life, be part of us. You know, get involved. Stop fucking sitting on the fence. Stop fucking sitting on the fence. For fuck's sake, like, if you're thinking about it, you know what the decision is. Make it. Go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Anyway.
Let's go.
That is episode number 37. I will catch you all in the next one. POBG. Stay safe. Be good.
Peace.
Peeps.